Rinse takes your laundry and hand-delivers it to your door, expertly cleaned and folded. So you could take the time once spent folding and sorting and waiting to finally pursue a whole new version of you. Like Tea Time You. Or this Tea Time You. Or even this Tea Time You.
So did you hear about Dave?
Or even Tea Time You.
So update on Dave.
It's up to you. We'll take the laundry. Rinse. It's time to be great.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast? Smart move. Being financially savvy? Smart move. Another smart move? Having State Farm help you create a competitive price when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This is Optimal Health Daily. Consumed by Food? 6 Lessons on Overcoming Disordered Eating by Jenn Hand with tinybuddha.com. And I'm your host and narrator, Dr. Neil. Hey there, happy Saturday, and welcome back to another weekend edition of Optimal Health Daily. This is where I read to you from some of the best health and fitness blogs on the web, and always with a bit of my commentary at the end. All right, and with that, let's keep this intro nice and short so we can get right to today's post as we optimize your life. Consumed by Food? 6 Lessons on Overcoming Disordered Eating by Jenn Hand with tinybuddha.com. Quote, "The struggle you're in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow. Don't give up." Robert II. For a good 12 years of my life, I was obsessively consumed with food. I had this unhealthy relationship with my body and my eating. I simultaneously loathed myself and desperately desired to be skinnier, while also compulsively binging until I couldn't move. For months, I would restrict. I'd eat some fruit for breakfast, green peppers and ranch dressing for lunch, and a few bites of whatever was in my fridge for dinner. I was also hooked on diet pills and exercised until I worked off every single calorie I had eaten, which was not much. And then, because no one could ever sustain a diet of 800 calories, if that, I ended up binging. I'd find myself in this compulsive frenzy, stuffing my face with bowls of ice cream, cookies slathered in icing, leftover brownies, and candy. This was followed by fits of depression, a deep loathing of my body, and promises to start again on Monday. I lost and gained the same 60 pounds over and over and over again. It was an exhausting and miserable way to live. When I began getting help, I thought I would never get to the end. My recovery consisted of lots of tears, endless pages of journaling, voraciously reading through self-help books, a mentor who guided me through the process and kept me afloat when I wanted to give up, yoga, meditation, and lots of lessons learned along the way. It took years to get to the place I am today, where I don't think about what I'm eating 24/7, I'm not consumed with being a size 2, and I can relax into a life filled with freedom and ease. But every hardship, struggle, and tear was worth the fight, because I'm a different person now. I'm the authentic, happier version of that person I used to be. My life is full. My heart is happy most of the time. And the lessons I learned on my journey still have an impact on how I live today. Here are the top lessons I learned from my irrational, all-over-the-place eating. 1. Comparing yourself to others only sets you back. When you gauge your own progress, your own body, and your own successes against others, it leaves you in an endless game that you'll never be able to win. Trying to keep up with other people leaves you hopeless and discouraged. Others' lives are depicted through snapshots. You never get the whole picture. Your journey is about focusing on your own milestones and progress. You can never compare your insides, struggles, and hardships with someone else's, because you never know what's going on deep within them. There is a depth to everyone that we aren't aware of. Each of us has our own battles, struggles, and insecurities. Focusing only on you frees up the energy it takes to create deeper healing. 2. Your relationship with food mirrors your relationship with your life. Your relationship with food reflects your relationship with everything in your life, your family, your friends, yourself, and your mental and emotional states. What you are doing with your body and food is a projection of what you are doing in your mind and spirit. Exploring your relationship with food takes you deeper into your relationship with everything else in your life. The need for control and certainty is reflected in rigid, inflexible food rules. Fear of loneliness and emptiness is seen in eating for comfort and escape. Hurrying through life, always wanting to be in the next place and achieve the next goal, is reflected in rushing through meals. When we are aware of these connections, we can begin to change. When we change our relationship with food, we change the way we live. When we abuse our body, we abuse ourselves. And when we respect and honor our body, we respect and honor ourselves. 3. You will never be done. Dealing with food issues isn't something you can just ignore, put aside, or avoid. Healing disordered eating means dealing with it every day, multiple times a day, for the rest of your life. Now, this is actually good news. You will constantly be refining what works for you, what foods give you energy, how emotions contribute to eating, what way of eating fits into your lifestyle, and what truly serves you. When you fall back into old habits, when you find yourself wanting to overeat and restrict, you'll know it's a signal to go deeper. See number 2. 4. Perfectionism derails progress. Striving to be a perfect eater, have the perfect body, and be a perfect person is stifling and exhausting. When you're yearning to achieve this unattainable goal, it only sets you up for failure. We need to soften our expectations, relax into our imperfect selves, and realize that no one is meant to be perfect in any area of life. In a perfect world, everything is stagnant. There is no growth and no evolution. It is only through mistakes, trial and error, and experimentation that we learn and grow. When you allow yourself to make mistakes, whether it's messing up your food plan, getting into a fight with a family member, or realizing your work isn't satisfying, this is how you learn, incorporate feedback, and chart a new course. 5. You are really, truly good enough, just as you are. I always thought that I had to lose more weight, be thinner, and have a flatter stomach in order to be accepted by others, and that I needed their acceptance to be happy. But the irony is that when you truly believe you are innately acceptable, just as you are, your healing begins to deepen, and you're able to nurture a happiness that isn't dependent on what other people think. And 6, disordered eating is your soul desperately crying out for help. Our biggest obstacles often turn into our biggest lessons. A screwed up relationship with food forces you to go deeper into yourself to really heal. It gently nudges you to explore the depths within you that you didn't know were there, to heal all limiting beliefs, emotions, thoughts, and habits, and uncover who you really are. This journey is an act of pure, unfiltered courage. It exposes you raw and leaves you vulnerable. And as you realize this truth, you realize this is a gift. This is a chance to go deeper, live more honestly, and be more authentic. And isn't that what living really is all about? You just listened to the post titled, Consumed by Food? 6 Lessons on Overcoming Disordered Eating by Jenn Hand with tinybuddha.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary. Right now, there's a talented person out there who could take your company to the next level. Do you want to hope they see your job post before your competitors? Or do you want to match with them with Indeed sponsored jobs? Stop struggling to get your job post even seen on other sites. Give your job the best chance to be seen with Indeed sponsored jobs. When I was looking to hire, it was so slow and overwhelming. I wish I had used Indeed. Spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results now with Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/health. Just go to Indeed.com/health right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/health. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Do it the right way with Indeed.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Get 2 times membership rewards points per dollar on eligible purchases in key business categories. as well as on each eligible purchase of $5,000 or more, on up to $2 million in eligible purchases per calendar year. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
Dr. Neal here for my commentary. I want to go back to today's author, Jenn's second lesson. Jenn said that when we abuse our body, we abuse ourselves. But when we respect and honor our body, we respect and honor ourselves. These statements reminded me of something I would often ask my patients. I would ask them, imagine someone you really cared about was following the same lifestyle that you're following, hurrying through life, rushing through meals, having inflexible food rules, and so on. What would you think? Usually in response, they say something like, well, I'd be worried about them. And I would say back, exactly. So why is it okay for you to do this to yourself? That's usually when I see that metaphorical light bulb go off in their heads. That's when they realize that others are probably worried about them. So when we can, let's ask ourselves whether what we're doing to ourselves is something we'd recommend to someone we love. If the answer is no, then it's probably time for a change. All right, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for being here every day. Thank you so much for listening to the end, and thank you for sharing the show with someone. That's one of the best ways to keep this show going. All right, I hope you're having a great weekend, and of course, I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.